We are live here for Tuesday Talks. Now, Tuesday Talks is all about getting to know an individual, finding out what they care about, what drives them, and what motivates them to keep going and doing what they do. Now, today's guest is Simran. Simran is a creator of Brown Boss Babes, which was created as an online community and a safe space for others to feel seen, heard, and inspired daily. Now, I've met Simran in Financial Summit, Mind Valley Financial Summit in London. And obviously she has a massive community going for her as well with the Brown Boss Babes. So I see you there, Simran. Let me just send you an invite. Hi, Simran. How are you doing?
Good. Hi, Zishan. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too as well. Thank you very much for taking the time out and hopping on to the talks for us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited for today. And yeah, let's get to it.
Thank you very much. So I've done a short introduction for you already, but you're the best person to do justice for that. So the people who are just joining us live on Instagram at this moment, if you can let them know who you are, what you do, and the biggest question that everybody on Tuesday Talks have is, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Okay, so a little bit about me. I am basically the founder of the community called Brown Boss Babes, which is a space for brown women to feel seen, heard, and appreciated. I also am the founder of Social with Sim, which is a social media marketing business serving clients globally. And the place where this community came from was basically my mess. I decided to take my mess and turn it into my message. And I say this every time because I truly feel like when something doesn't go your way, it is literally God's direction for you. And so for me, this community came from a place where I was broken. I didn't
Mm,
feel like I belonged. There were a lot of places where, yes, of course, there were a lot of spaces for ambitious women and what they're doing, but it didn't connect with me culturally in all aspects. And I was like, okay, if I don't have one, I'm going to build one. And that's what I ended up doing with BBB. And it started with a pure hobby turned into absolute passion, turned into now a beautiful community. So yeah.
wow, I love that. I love that. And that's what's been driving you to do what you're doing, right?
Yes, absolutely. Every single time I get a message from someone telling me, like, ah, that hit me, that connected with me. Oh my God, you truly understand exactly what it is to go through the pain of being an Indian girl, a good daughter, a South Asian woman, and wanting, it's kind of like being pulled between your culture and the modernity, right? You want the freedom, but you still want your roots, and how to balance that. And I feel like this is something which is very unique to the women I speak to. So yeah.
I really love that, and obviously coming from the Asian background myself as well is resonating in terms of yes, we want to connect with the roots at the same time. You want to be outgoing in terms of being the forefront of all these things which are opportunities which are available to you as well. But and how do you find that balance? And it's so in your journey, obviously, you started sharing that message across with everybody. I know I'm sure that wasn't very easy as it comes across now in the form of this community. But take us through the journey of how was that for you in regards to when you started out? It's very earlier on when you started this.
Yeah, it was really funny because when I started it, I had like 200 followers, and I literally thought I was speaking into the internet where nobody knew this page existed. Nobody knew anything about me. And I loved it. I didn't tell anyone, no family, no friend. Nobody knew that I had this page. And I was like, I'm going to use this space as a place where I will share what I feel. And I was going through a lot at that time. I had, if you've seen any of my content, or you can go and check it out, I had gone through a major, major shift in my life. And I think in your early 20s, most of us go through the shift where something catastrophic happens and life is not going as per your plan, and you're like, oh my God, you're not you're not following that timeline which you thought you would. Oh, you don't have that house yet. Oh, you don't have that kid yet. You don't have that job yet. And you start feeling all the panic. So I had just lost my dream job. I had just lost a very strong relationship, which did not work out. It was toxic and all of those things.
Mm.
And I ended up being like at 25, absolutely starting from zero.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was working in Milan for 4 years and I left my job in Milan to come back to India to take up an opportunity which did not work out, to pursue a relationship which did not work out. And literally, I was like, wow, well, thank you, life. And 3 months into it, we go into the pandemic. So you
Mm.
can imagine my mental state was pretty much at zero at that point. But I think that's where exactly my journey began, because I was like, I want to share my journey with the people who are joining in on socials. And I was surprised that, there's this saying that sometimes you find better friends online from
Mm.
strangers who you don't know than the support you get from your own family and friends. And I genuinely felt like I connected with so many more people who were going through their own things. Somebody lost a job, somebody lost a parent, somebody lost something. And then you realize that like life is not just happening to you, it's happening to a lot of us. And we're all a part of the human experience. And slow and steadily, I realized that working through my traumas and my triggers and everything that I was going through, I could actually share that and help others who were coming on as well. And that's where my whole journey into also, myself trying to work with my own healing and going through my own trainings as a coach and as a helper. Like a lot of people ask me that, Sim, are you a coach? Are you a healer? Are you this? I said, I don't know, I'm human. Like, I'm here to help. That's what I do. So yeah. So I think that's where all this journey began.
I really love this, and I can see, how in the 20s where all these things, you have a grand plan that once you come out into the world, this is going to happen, and you look at this steps that everybody tells you that you should be following, and if it's not going the way it's supposed to go, and you're like, oh, what is happening then? Am I supposed to do this? And what is the way to do this?
Yeah.
If and the people who are telling you, they are in that world already and it's working for them, but they're not telling you how to do this. Yeah, just follow this. And that's what you hear. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna follow this, but hang on a minute, what happens if this happens? And they're like, yeah, then they have no answer, right? You
Yeah.
have no answers for that. And I love that you obviously started sharing that message with the world out there, and you're finding out that, okay, actually, I'm not the only one who is going through this. It's a lot of us going through, and every second person, if you speak to, would be the one. Would the only ultimate thing I've realized is none of us actually share with each other what we are going through, so that we can support each other and create this wonderful network of people who are challenged onto the same questions, and maybe
Mm.
somebody's found a way or overcome doing something, and then they can just share that with you and like, oh, I just did it this way, and you're like, oh, okay, I see that puzzle now, let me uh, put that piece that you found, but I found this piece of that puzzle, and let me share that with you, and then you can finish up your puzzle with the pieces I
Mm.
found, and it's joining them together, and then making sure that puzzles are being completed by helping each other that way, right? And I love the way that you've created that space, not telling anybody, with that 200 followers you had, and started talking about it, and now you are this huge personality that everybody recognizes, right? Because I recognize you at the financial summit. Like, I know this person, so let's go and say hello.
That was the nicest thing ever. You literally made my day. You were like, and I'm like, wow, wow. Because sometimes I forget. I still operate from the space. I have 200 followers. Like I still operate from that space. So when I saw you, I was like so happy because we were like, I was not even in my hometown. I was like in another city and I saw somebody. I just felt you made my day that day. So yeah, thank you.
I'm glad I could do that, but it was also for me. It was like, oh, I've just spotted a celebrity. Like, for me, it was that.
Far from it right now.
Uh, if you're turning up on the feed for everybody and everything, you're pretty much like an influencer celebrity,
Oh.
right? No matter what you're thinking, but you're helping so many women out there with everything that you're going through, and then putting it out there, and supporting them. You're able to
Mm.
share something that you've come across since you've started this? Obviously, not naming anything, but a scenario that you've come across quite often, and you were able to guide the person with what you come across that way. What's the best way, a common situation that you come across to overcome?
So the thing is, like, a lot of people call me like on this page, and I love all of y'all who are joining in, but all of y'all usually refer to me as like Didi, and in that actually means like big sister.
Mm,
And like a lot of times people are asking me questions from that space where they are like, oh, I wish I had like an elder sister like you telling me what to do or how to be, and all of those things. So for me, the first thing is always recognizing that we often look for answers in other people, but other people are not answers. They're only more questions. And the answer that you look for is inside you. I know I got all inception-y when I said that, but but the truth is that the most of these times, why there's so much chaos and trouble is because you're not quieting down your outer mind to listen to your inside. So I've had a lot of women come to me that, oh, I've lost a job, or I'm not being able to find a job, or I've lost this relationship, I was in this really bad space. And the first thing I tell them is that please stop looking at all these success stories online and being like, oh my God, my life sucks,
mm,
because people are not posting their failures online. I am weird, I'm awkward. Everyone else is not posting their failures online. So don't always believe everything you see, and don't think you can go from 0 to 100. It doesn't work like that. If you are on -100, you need to first go to 0, and then you need to go to 100. When I went through that difficult phase in my life, I was in therapy. I was depressed for 6 months.
mm.
At that time, for me to start being like, oh, in 6 months I'm gonna get like a high paying job, I'm gonna get married in like 1 year, is stupid actually, because I am pushing myself and trying to match an expectation and putting all this pressure on me, which doesn't need to be. So instead of trying to go from, to this overnight success, build towards becoming 1% better every day. 1% better every single day towards the goal that you're getting to. Get to 0 first, and then we'll talk about 100. And this is something, whichever thing you're approaching in your life that you're going through, you need to look at the problem from the base level. And it's always about two things, in my opinion. Number one is strategy. Number two is energy. Strategy being the outside. That means what are the outer work you're doing, the goals, the action plans, blah, blah, blah. And the energy being the inner work that you're doing, your mindset, your narrative, the limiting beliefs you carry in your mind, the triggers you have. If you do not learn to deal with both of them, you're not going to be able to make that change. So they marry each other to make that change happen. That's it.
Wow, wow, that's actually amazing, and I love that. And you sharing the energy and the strategy part of it. So I'm looking at it as like, you're a solo traveler on a motorbike, right? So motorbike's got two wheels. So one is energy and one is strategy, and then you have to
Yeah.
have make sure that both are working,
Yes,
right? Uh, and
absolutely.
if one goes flat, you stop, right? Then you have to fix that and change it. So if you are looking after both at the same time, every time you have a little stop, you stop and pay attention to the both tires. Like, okay, are they good condition? Do I need to change one? And then work on that and then move forward again. You'll have less hiccups. You will have less fall downs
100%.
because you are already paying attention to the both side that you need. And I love that. That's a good. I mean, I love cars and motorbikes and things like that. So I just went straight into that, so I'm like placing it that way in my mind. And this is great. So for people who have been listening to us now, to take away is to look after the both side. And I suppose you can look at your feet as well. You got 2 feet, right? So you need to look after both of your feet so that you can carry
Yeah,
on walking. If one hurts, you'll be sitting
absolutely.
down, right? You'll be sitting down, and energy and strategy to marry them both up. You need to do the outer and inner work as well. We all have triggers that trigger us, but then those trigger us for us to deal with. It's nothing to do with the world out there. It's nothing to do with that person that triggered you. That person is just being that person, not doing anything wrong. If we are being triggered, that is us to deal with that. And we need to have a plan how we're going to go from that -100 to 0 first,
Hmm.
and then from 0 to the other 100, right? So
Yeah.
if we don't have that plan, and how are we going to make sure that we achieve that 1% every day? What is that 1% every day? it could be different for everybody. It could be somebody just needs to spend 2 3 hours every day learning something new so that they can implement that
Absolutely.
when they or somebody just need to have a quiet time and sit down and spend the time with themselves. So self-love, which gets thrown out here everywhere a lot nowadays, but
Oh,
it is needed.
yeah.
It's needed, right?
And I love this word self-love because it's like so popular in the online space, and people are always like, love yourself, self-love, love yourself. And I'm like, self-love isn't just like warm showers and like, beautiful shampoo nights and all of that. Some days self-love is being in like a fetal position on your bed, crying yourself to sleep. That's self-love, even. That's also
Yes.
self-love. Like, like it's not just the glamorized side of it. There's also a lot of, like a lot of difficulty which comes with, when you're dealing with it. So yeah.
100%, I agree that. And that's the more important part of self-love, is to actually acknowledge when you are at your lowest points of time and you're able to love yourself that time, right?
For sure.
Instead of going into negative thoughts, which a lot of us go through. And once
Mm,
is to be aware. So I always say is to be aware of when that's happening to you and not go deep into that rabbit hole of why these things are happening to me. Why am I the only one having these things, or suffering, or whatever that is you're going through? It's more of like, okay, if these things are happening to me, what can I learn from it?
yeah.
Can I love myself first, so then everybody else who sees me every day can also show me love, because I need to show myself love first. Everybody else is just a reflection of me, so they're basically reflecting to me whatever I am doing to myself, right? So if I'm not happy with
Yeah.
myself, nobody around will be happy with me as well, even though they might come across they're happy, but they're not really happy because you're not happy inside, because you're going to take those messages in your interpretation with your lens.
Yeah.
And I love that you've brought that up as well. um, so the question now I've come in my mind is like, so you're doing all these things. um, how do you keep yourself organized when you have all these things happening? You've got your community, your marketing place, and yourself. So how do you keep yourself organized to go through the day?
I, I just love that you just asked me this question because I've been getting this a lot in my DMs because people are seeing that I'm doing all these things and I'm like, how do you stay organized? So believe it or not, I was one of the most laziest kids growing up. I was extremely lazy, very unproductive, leaving my homework to the last minute. Like, the typical kid who would not get anything done. And I think as I grew up, I realized that you need to be like, I run my own business. So I don't have a boss to go to or anything. And people always go like, wow, that's so lucky. I said, no, you can be the worst boss that you have to yourself and be the worst employee even that you have, because I'm my
Mm,
own employee and I'm my own boss, don't forget that. So I had to learn to make up a schedule for myself, and in a way that is most efficient to me and helps me the
mm,
most. I have a lot of routines that I follow that, which I can get into, but there's a long list of that. But the first thing is, I do not believe in morning routines. And I know that that's controversial every time I say it, not because I don't think waking up in the morning is important. I feel that you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to conquer the world. You can conquer the world the way you want to. I feel like everyone has a different personality type. I'm a rebel. So if somebody tells me that I have to do this at meditate at 9 a.m., eat something at 9:30, then go to the bookstore at 10, I'll be like, no, thank you. Like I'll do it for 1 week, 2 weeks, and by the third week, I'm back to zero. So what works for me is what is the intention behind what I'm doing. So I have a morning flow. Every day when I wake up in the morning, the first thing, I don't touch my phone. I throw my phone out the window. I do not touch my phone for the first 30 minutes. I will always open up my blinds first. I'll go brush my teeth. I'll come sit on my desk and I will ask myself three questions. What am I feeling today? What do I need today? And how can I give myself what I need today? So if I'm feeling anxious, why am I feeling anxious? Okay, because maybe I'm worried about a new job interview that's coming up. What can I do to feel less anxious? So maybe I can watch a podcast or listen to a podcast by a creator who's inspiring, or maybe watch a TED talk, maybe read a book where somebody helps me with that. There are always self help tools which are around you. So instead of telling myself that I have to meditate or have to read or I have to watch videos, I give myself what I need. And then I go into the rest of my day. And then the next thing I do is plan the rest of my day. I think the older I get, the calendars become my friend. Like the older I get, I'm like calendar. It is crazy, I know, but it's very important to have things on paper. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get through your day. I actually have a habit tracker as well. It's if you don't mind me mentioning,
Yeah, yeah.
it's available in the link in my bio. It's absolutely free if you want to go download it. And it's something which I use every single day to keep a track of myself, because with everything that you're doing, if you're a multi-passionate creative like me, you're not going to achieve anything at the end of 1 week because you'll be overwhelmed, you will be anxious, and you will not get to anything. So focus on one task at a time. Have a to-do list. My to-do lists are like literally everywhere. I don't know if I can show you, but I have post-its everywhere,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
stuck everywhere. So yeah, just basic things which can help you be more productive through your day. And lastly, don't kill yourself. It's okay if you don't get everything done. I was supposed to launch my YouTube video, my first video last week. It didn't happen. It's okay. I'm not dead. I'm alive. So it's fine. So yeah, I think that.
I really love that. So that takes us through obviously your day, and I love that you said you don't actually have a fixed morning routine. You're not like, oh yeah, yeah, I need to do this, and the rebellious in you, obviously, if somebody is telling you to do it a certain way, you're like, okay, yeah, thank you very much, but I'll do it my way, right? So this is, and I love that. So obviously the people who are listening to us here now, you have to try different things and see what works for you, and as Simran is doing that, so she's tried different things and does what works for her. So working for her is, okay, I'm gonna wake up in the whatever time that is, and then
Mm.
see what do I need today, how am I feeling, check in with yourself, and that's part of the self-love as well. So you're checking in with yourself, how are you feeling, and how you're gonna go through the day. And now some people like planning. They are planners. They might plan a day before for the next day, which is okay as well. You can do that, and then brings me the question of how do you now then end your day? So like how you're wrapping up your day and maybe getting ready for the next day.
So when I'm winding down, I think again the same 30-minute rule. I think I'm a 30-minute person for some reason. So like 30 minutes before bed, like I make sure I shut all my lights. I always have a dim light on
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of like giving your mind a signal that you're shutting down, because your mind also is activated, your brain waves are activated by the light sensors, right? So I always turn on a dim light, telling myself I'm going into sleep mode. I always make sure I don't journal every night. It depends on where I'm at. Sometimes, if I feel I need to reflect on my day, I do journal a little bit. But one thing I always do is subconscious reprogramming meditations before I go to sleep. Every single day, I have meditations that I listen to before I go to bed, because I feel like your subconscious mind is the most powerful thing in making changes happen. Like I literally used to have a subconscious meditation like around, I think, 8 months back, which used to have the words in it that I'm going to reach millions of people. And I used to say it for some reason every day. I
Mm,
have a million views on like 4, 5 of my reels now. And I'm like, and when I was watching it, I was like, oh, so what? Like, you don't care that much. But I'm like, oh
amazing.
my God, I said that. I said that I want to touch a million people. And I've touched a million people somehow. So yeah, so I feel like for me, the subconscious winding down of my day is very important. And that's about it. And that's my end of the day.
That's actually amazing as well. The subconscious messages do work, and if you're using that to wind down your day, and I've also heard that to listening to these sort of meditations, actually, when you're planning to go to bed, you've already in bed and you're listening to it in the background. Headphones or non-headphones, if it's in your room, just play it. Actually helps a lot because your mind is actually going into that state where it is able to pick up these messages and then implement it when the next day when you're woken up, because subconsciously it's still looking for those that to
Yes.
implement that message that it's been hearing. You may also start to dream about it because subconsciously the message is there, and then your dream state where you then view that, and then your mind, the conscious mind, tries to look for the solutions so that you can actually achieve everything that subconscious is thinking as well. So
Very
I
true.
love that. I love that you touched upon that, and people should take away a lot of things that we do in this world is actually subconsciously. So we believe that we are consciously making decisions. We believe that we are consciously acting on everything, but subconsciously you have decided to do those things way before, and that's why you're doing it now, right? So,
Yep.
something I can subconsciously decide to start now, but the effects of that will happen in a couple of days, which will be a conscious decision of me taking that subconscious decision of like, okay, I want to do that, and then consciously I'm just agreeing with myself and following on, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep, absolutely. It's kind of like become it before you are actually having it. And that's kind of like the super ingredient, like the ingredient that people kind of forget sometimes. We get stuck in this valley of disappointment and
Mm.
we are like, ah, we've been working so hard. We've been doing all these affirmations. We've been, praying to God every day and nothing is working and they get stuck. What they don't realize is that you have to come from a place like you already have it. You're not working towards it, you already have it. I already have 1 million people on my page. I'm saying it out loud. And like it's operating from that sense
Yes.
which gets you what you want as well,
Uh,
so yeah.
I really love that, and I'm a firm believer of that. You know that you be it before you become it,
Mhm.
right? You know, a lot of people. So a lot of people. Usually the saying goes, "Fake it till you make it," right? And I'm like, nope, scrap that. Why you want to fake it till you make it? You know, you
You
don't want
are
to
it.
fake it. Yeah, exactly. You are it until you are there. So you be it until you become it. Right?
Yeah.
That and that's it should be it. And I have done so many things in my own personal life by just thinking of, I am already it, right? So I wanted to speak on Mind Valley stage, for example, and the
Yeah.
first time I went there, I had the opportunity to actually not speak on Mind Valley stage, but be on the stage with my coaches and mentors. I was there. Then I got to have little chats with them and everything. And then I was like, I want to now speak on this stage. So
Mm.
there were some photos taken of me and it looked like that I'm actually speaking, but obviously I was just standing,
Oh.
right? So it looked like that. So I know when I saw that and I became that, because few people approached me saying, oh, did you speak? I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm like,
Yes, I did.
yeah, exactly. So I came home, and when I came back from all these events, and I came home and I bought myself the mic all the speakers were using. So they had this little mic that comes around there
Oh,
and then goes
yeah.
around. So I had seen that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy that. So I bought it, because I'm being it now, right? So I'm like, yeah, I use this mic to speak on Mind Real Estate the next time I go, right? The next time I will go.
Right.
So last year, I was invited then to speak on the Mind Valley
Ooh,
stage. So it
that is
wasn't a it,
amazing.
it wasn't a big stage, but it was a stage that I can address and share my story with
Yeah.
everybody. So I was like, so I had all these things, and because every time I sit on my desk, I would see that mic just there on the side, and and Mind Valley stuff. So I was like, yeah, because I am the speaker that's going to speak next Mind Valley event in Estonia,
Mm.
and that happened last year. So what I've
Wow.
decided was, okay, and what I've noticed then was, yeah, everything. If you're being it since beginning, you are able to achieve it because you are in that personality. You're telling you're in that energy, right? And
Yes,
then your mind is then just looking for those opportunities. It's like, okay,
exactly.
you are that person.
Yeah.
So this is the next opportunity. That's the next opportunity. And before you know it, people
With
around you
yeah,
open the
yeah.
doors for you, like, oh yeah, this is where you need to be, this is where you need to be. You just need to turn up there. So the best thing
Yes,
I say to everybody is just
absolutely.
turn up to places. don't think don't think. And especially what I've noticed also is, if your body is resisting something, like, oh, should I go there or should I not,
Mm.
you should, because that's taking you out of your
Wow.
comfort zone. That's taking you out of your comfort zone now.
Mm.
Because your comfort zone will always say you're okay here. And if you're now thinking that I should go there or not, or should I do this or not, that's already a comfort zone debate with
Mm.
yourself. With yourself, you're doing a comfort zone debate. Like, oh, I don't know how uncomfortable I will be when I am there, and I don't know if I can achieve it. And then when I feel that way, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm acknowledging this. Thank you very much. I'm jumping there. I'm
Yeah.
going. When I
Yep.
throw myself in there and see what happens. I may succeed, I may not succeed, but at least I've experienced it. And then if I go back again in that place, I actually know how to maneuver myself in that space. And it's always about
100%.
go into it where your body is resisting not to go. Obviously, be
Yeah.
safe, not dangerous stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed with you completely.
So I've got a question now, which come to me as also is we're able to obviously use calendar as our friend, and you've got post-it notes which are also doing this subconscious messages. So there's quite a lot of work that we can now see that you are doing on yourself, right? Which not a lot of people will get to see because they'll think, somebody just coming up on a screen and talking to us about this and starting the community. But there's a lot of work that goes in the behind, which is you are also working on yourself, which is continuous, right? How does that now, for you, does that some places tire you out and you think, why am I doing all these things that I'm doing when you are on your own journey into your own self-love, into your own self-healing and all that stuff. So take us through that. How do you now overcome those little challenges for yourself?
Yeah, like I think one of the biggest things is that a lot of people come to me and like we have these conversations of like, oh, Sim, how are you so motivated all the time? Like, how are
Yes.
you constantly going after what you want? Like, wow, you're just so productive, And I always tell them that, I have bad mental health days too. I also still struggle with myself. I'm not perfect. And the notion of being perfect should be thrown out of the window because no matter who you are going to have bad days. So stop relying on motivation. Instead, allow yourself to feel those bad days. I'm one of those
Mm,
people who believes that there are going to be some days where you're not going to be able to do something, and that's okay. Those days, go to bed early, have your favorite food, watch a movie you like, and just shut down. And wake up the next day with a different, like so many times our parents used to tell us when we were kids, just go to sleep. It'll be better tomorrow. It's technically because they know that you're having a bad day, you have a low day. So instead of trying to pull yourself up and be like, no, no, I'm going to watch a podcast, I'm going to watch a TED talk, I'm going to listen to a podcast, I'm going to get better again. Stop doing that because that's also toxic
mm,
positivity. You don't want to push yourself into that space. Instead, allow yourself to feel the emotions, allow yourself to sit with them and feel bad about it. There's nothing wrong with that. But it becomes a problem if you're stuck there for months on end.
mm,
If you're just in that place for like days and months, then there is a problem. And then you need to address it because either you're not ready to move or the environment that you're in is pushing you down. And one or the other is something that you need to address, right? So, but given that if it's just 1 day or 2 day, we're having an off day, it's okay. Have an off day. You have 28 more days in a month to get over it. And in those days, focus on less on motivation, more on everyday
mm,
tasks. I
mm,
always say this, our results take time to catch up to us. The work you're doing now will show you 6 months from now. And we end up getting like, why don't we have the work now? We get impatient. We're in an Instagram world, instant gratification with TikTok reels blowing up and people getting viral overnight. So I can imagine, I get your frustration. I'm on the same boat as you. But it's important to remember that the work you're doing today will show the change in few months, maybe 3 months, 4 months. I've seen
mm,
it takes at least 3 to 4 months to start shifting those habits and making actual change. So yeah, it's about that everyday work. Instead, I truly believe don't go win everything in 1 day. That's actually wrong for you. I hope you never get anyone watching this, you're gonna hate me for saying this. I hope you don't get successful overnight. I really hope. Because that is the what goes up comes down equally
mm.
fast. So if you're
Yes.
it's like a roller coaster. You want your success to be like this, which is linear and instead of this way, which is just shot up and then come back down. So really focus on that and focus on the everyday small things instead of that shortcut to success or shortcut to happiness or I want that house and that goal overnight. So yeah, I would say that's where I'm coming from.
I love this share. I love this share, and I'm a firm believer of also there's no overnight successes out there anyway. I mean, even though you see an overnight success, which comes across as an overnight success, is not an overnight success. They, the person who comes across now as an overnight success probably has been working on themselves and that success for months and months and months, sometimes few years, to
Years and
be,
years and
yeah,
years.
exactly.
Absolutely.
So to be where they are, and we are obviously just seeing the success part of the story. We are not seeing the whole hard work that has happened at the back. So I mean, using the examples of the viewers who are listening to us, like how we go through our schooling, right? We
Mm.
we we go to school every day. We study month and after. Then we have some exams, but then we have those bigger exams at the end of the year, right? Which actually tells us what we've been doing the whole year, because we then take that exam and then we are a success in front of the eyes of our teacher, our parents, and then we're like, yes, you've done something the whole year round. All these things you were doing, little projects, little classes or whatnot, and after school events, everything that you were studying just goes towards the end of the year, right? And then that exams that you have to go do to show what you've been doing. And everything in life pretty much comes to the same thing. You're doing these little tasks, little things, which will then one day, at the end of 1 month or 1 year, will blow up and then
Yeah.
become your
It's it's
success.
it's basically that. Like for example, like I hear people like, "Ah, I'm not a morning person. How do I become a morning person? I want to quit smoking. I don't know how to quit smoking." And these small habits which we take of people, and like you'll always hear statements like, "But I am like this, but I am like that, but I was never confident as a kid, but I was always not loved by my mom, or like I was always, the troublemaker of the class."
Mm,
You are making these statements to you because you made that your narrative and you believe that. It's not the other people around you. Maybe they've told you that. And you said, yeah, my mom told me I'm a shy kid. I'm a shy person. I'm a shy person. It's not probably true, but you have made that your personality by attaching your identity to that statement. So you really have the power. That's the power that we talk about. That's the power that
mm.
you need to stop giving that power away to other people to define who you are. And you get to rewrite that. Like you said, months of sitting in front of my laptop and listening to meditations or writing in my journals with changes. Because today we can discuss all these tools, but till you don't go and apply it, it's not going to make a difference in your life. And you have to apply it every day till it becomes
Consistency.
automatic.
Yes.
Exactly. So, like, I never have to tell you to go brush your teeth or go have a shower. It happens almost automatically because it's become second nature to you.
Mm.
And that's how positive thinking is. That's how affirmations or meditation work or your spiritual journey is. It needs to become second nature for you to go do it. And that's when it actually becomes life changing.
I really love this. I really love this. We're going to be soon wrapping this up shortly as well. So, and I love that there's been amazing shares for everybody who's been watching us live. And this episode will also turn into a Spotify and Apple podcast version as well in a few months' time. So, people who've been watching this, thank you very much. What I wanted to also check with was how everybody can reach out to you and what's next that you are doing at this moment.
Okay, so where you want to reach out to me, come to my Instagram, come say hi. My DMs are always open. Please feel free to join me at brownbossbabes.co. I am also launching my YouTube channel in this month, so you can come consume much more long form content, which is absolutely free. And I'm starting my exclusive community, which is going to be on an online platform. We will have meetups, one on one sessions, hosted gatherings, but this is exclusive to women who are committed to making that difference. So, yeah, whether you want to join the community, you can join the waitlist, just send me a DM. I have the waitlist and the link in my bio. Or you can have my free resources. So, that's also super helpful. Again, in the link in my bio.
I love this. And so just to put a date on this episode, so this has been recorded on March 2024, just in case the podcast is a little bit late in the few months' time. And so they can still reach out to you and see that YouTube video and everything. Although I will tag your Instagram on the episodes that wherever this gets posted apart from Instagram. So thank you very much for that. So before we wrap this up, the question I wanted to ask you was, what do you know now and you would have appreciated in your younger years, meaning that teenage years, that you would have, said, okay, if I knew this that time, that would have been amazing.
I think for me, it is because I grew up as the overachiever, the good kid. Everybody loved her. She's constantly first in her class, that kid who everyone hates. And for me, the thing I think I needed to really learn was failure, because nobody taught me the importance of failing. Nobody taught me that you're allowed to fail. And it's not a disappointment if you fail. It's okay. It's a stepping stone to who you become. But nobody ever taught me that. And I feel like failure is a huge part of who I am today. So for sure, I wish I knew the importance of failure, and I wish we can teach more children that it's okay to fail. It's okay to not be the first in your class or get the best job or get married at the age of 20 and have 50 kids. You can be amazing in what you do as per what you want to do in your life. There's no one way of measuring success. So yeah.
Love that, love that. And so, and the last final question would be, what would you like to the audience who've been listening to us to take away from our conversation today?
I think it's really important to believe that you have a story, because all of us are stories. I truly feel like when I'm on my deathbed, I will not look at my followers. I will not look at how many people liked my comment or my read. The only thing I'll remember is the messages I get from people, the conversations I have. So if you do not believe this, please believe that you have a story and it's yours. Zishan has his story, I have my story, you have a story. And you get to decide what you want to do with that story, whether you want to pass it on, you want to change it, you want to create something new. You have that power. And I hope that you realize that from today's conversation.
I really love that. That's the best takeaway for people to take that from us, and I'll use that as our title for the episode as well. You have a story. You have a story. So believe in that story. And thank you very much, Simran, for your time today and inspiring so many of other people as well with your story. So thank you very much, and everybody else who've been watching us live on Instagram or listening to this on a podcast version as well. If you had a spark or aha moment from this conversation, it's now our responsibility to share this with whoever and whomever comes to our mind or you think that should be listening to this episode as well, because all we need is that spark in someone to take that step or to share that story or to take action on their story. So please share that with whomever you think should be watching this, because we don't know who's woken up or gone to bed thinking of a better day. And if this story and this episode has created that spark in you, it might just create that spark in them as well. Thank you very much, Simran, and everybody else as well who's been watching us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.